Good evening, everyone. It's time for a little online talk again. And my guest today will be Talia Ilan, a wonderful conductor from Israel. So the first time for me that I make a video so far away with a guest from Israel. Pretty exciting. Hello. So we're waiting for Talia Ilan. I think she'll be joining us soon. She's not so experienced, I think, with Instagram Live, but yeah, there she is. Wonderful. So, Talia, let's try it out. Can I invite you? Oh, you sent me a request. I think Instagram proposed you. Yes, fantastic. Got it? Actually, Talia should join. Yes, there she is.
Hi.
Hello, Talia. Such
Hi,
a pleasure.
Eva.
Hello.
For
Oh,
me too, as well. Thank you.
yeah, I'm so happy that you accepted because I really appreciate your work and I'm really admiring what you're doing. This is so fantastic. So thanks a lot for your time this evening.
This is mutual because I also admire what you are doing,
Oh,
which is also so important, and I love it.
oh, fantastic. Thanks so much. So, for everyone who's watching, let's jump just right in. Could you please present yourself for everyone who doesn't know you already?
Okay. Oh, is there anybody who doesn't know me? Oh, so okay.
Yeah, you're so famous, but
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. The
yes.
opposite. Okay. So my name is Talia Ilan, and I'm an Israeli conductor, but I'm also a music editor at the music radio station, the public one of Israel, for the last 3.5 years. And I'm also a conducting teacher for 23 years in a music college and also in a conservatory for youth musicians, young musicians. And besides this, I also give lectures on other topics like female composers and female conductors. So this
Oh,
is actually what I'm doing. Plus, of course, I'm doing other things in my life. I have pets. I love animals, so I raise up pets. For example, right now we have 6 cats and 1 dog.
oh, six. Wow,
Yeah,
that's quite a lot.
yeah. We like to save their lives, so it's very difficult
Oh,
to say no to a cat that needs help. And I have a family. My husband, Ian Su, is himself a conductor and a conducting teacher at the music school at the Tel Aviv University.
mhm.
And 2 daughters who are also musicians,
Oh,
Noya, who is almost 12, and she's a violinist. And this summer she will join the Young Israel Philharmonic Orchestra. It's
wow.
the younger orchestra of this orchestra. And Sheila, who is only 7 years old, but she's playing the cello.
Oh, you must be so proud.
Yes, I'm very proud of them.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
A musician's family.
Yes.
What about the
So
girls? Is it difficult for them to have two conductors as parents, or is it, don't you think it's a topic for them?
they were born to it, so they're used to it.
Uh-huh.
And plus, I think they like to get our help with their instruments also.
Oh,
So we practice with them, and it's very
okay.
helpful. And they feel that they can always rely on our suggestions when they practice. And also, they come to our concerts, so they're
Mm,
already in this musical world. They're into it, and they
okay.
feel they feel that they belong to it. For example, I was not born to a musical family,
Hmm.
so it was more difficult for me to enter this world. It was not so natural for me. And although my parents loved music, and that's how I got to learn about the classical music from day one, but it was not like a professional classical music family
Hmm.
uh, like we are to our daughters. So I think it's good for them.
So there's no pressure, but a lot of help if they need it.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, that's wonderful. Beautiful. Okay, so let's continue. And of course, I want to talk with you about your wonderful One Conductor a Day project. I don't know for everyone who doesn't know what this is, maybe you could just describe what this project is about
Yeah.
and when you started it and what was your motivation, what were your aims?
Okay, fine. So actually, I checked it out when I started. So it's November 30, 2020. So it's actually more than a year ago. We just celebrated several months ago in November 2021, the first anniversary. And this project is actually that I post every day one picture of a woman conductor when she is in action, not just a PR picture, but she has to be in action. She has to conduct an orchestra or an ensemble in rehearsal or in a concert. And then the post is very clean. It only says the hashtag One Conductor a Day, and then the name of the conductor, only the name, no other information. I decided to make it very neutral, natural and neutral. I wanted
Basic
it,
also.
yes, very basic. I didn't want to add any biography, and I didn't want to add nationality or age because I wanted it to be very clean and nothing to do with comparison with other conductors, only the name and the picture. And then in the comments, sometimes if I find a video, so I also add in the comments, but not in the basic post itself. And it turned out to be a good decision because I think that in this way, everybody feels equal. And this was my first intention. So how I started with it. So actually we can go back to 2013, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. 2013, I think it was a turning point in the conducting world regarding women conductors. Why? Because on the same year in the summer, I don't remember exactly the date, but it was August 2013, that Marin Alsop was invited to conduct the last night of the proms. So for us, it's another concert, but for the world, it turns to be something like, wow, a woman is conducting the last night of the proms, but it's another regular concert. I mean, it's a festive concert, but nothing than that. There are no, there is nothing new in the program itself, in the music. It's just musically, it's another concert. But the world was actually taking it as if something big happened. And as a consequence, many journalists in the musical world, in their regular routine interviews of other conductors or other musicians, they asked them about what do they think about that Marin Alsop will conduct the last night of the proms, or what do they think about women in the conducting field. This is what happened. And I followed those things. Why? Because 3 of the conductors who were interviewed said that they are against women conducting orchestras. There were 2 of them, at least, were very famous. The third one, I prefer not to even to mention their names.
But I think I remember that there was one quote, and I think it was from that time. I think it was 2013, because I was surprised that it was so recently.
Yes, that's right. So because of their comments, a lot of women and other people made a big fuss out of it. So, and suddenly in the media, especially the social media, when someone raised up this issue, so you could see 2 sides of thoughts and ideas. I mean, it was not everybody thought it's something bad that they said that women cannot conduct. Some people still think that conducting belongs only to men, without even explaining. They just think this is a man's world,
and they don't take female conductors seriously.
Yeah, of course, they of course they don't, and actually, the classical music is first of all responsible for this, because who is the one who is hiring conductors?
Yes,
orchestras. So they are the first one that I accuse of not having women conductors. But not only them. It's the whole society doesn't regard women, professional women in any area, very professionally. They first look at us as women, and this woman is like this and like this. And she's also a photographer. And she's also a film director. Okay, let's see if she can do it. And not like unlike to men, when they see a photographer or film director, they address them directly as their profession, and not first, you're a man, you can do it. No, they don't have this stage that we have to go through.
Yes, especially when it comes to leadership. That's the point.
Exactly. Mainly in the top professions where people earn a lot of money.
Yeah, and conductor, of course, is completely a position with power, with strength.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So the more the profession is highly regarded, the more they don't want women to enter this profession. Nothing to do with the ability of women, of course.
Yes.
Nothing to do with the ability, because they don't even know the ability. Sometimes they talk before they even saw one female conductor, and even when they see one, it still doesn't mean anything, because there are thousands of us. So did they check everyone to make this conclusion? Of course not. And on the same way, I can say, male conductors, I cannot stand them. Nobody will listen to me, of course, because the world is being ruled by men, but this is what they're doing to us, which is of course not fair and not moral, and nothing is good about it, and nothing is right about it. So what happened is that thanks to these three who made these ugly comments, I started thinking about what I can do to change the concept in the world. About conductors, mainly because this is my profession as well.
Yes.
And of course, even before this, I felt that I was not regarded professionally evenly like others. So I knew about the problem, but then I realized it's really very severe. The problem is very severe all over the world, not only in my country. Not a
personal problem, and not a problem of your home country, but worldwide,
exactly.
For everyone of us.
Yes, exactly. So I thought about maybe doing a YouTube channel with videos of only female conductors. But then one of my friends that I was discussing with, so she somehow discouraged me from doing this. And then what happened, I didn't do anything specifically. And in 2020, after I was invited to talk in an international conference of female conductors led by conductor Ligia Amadio. Do you know her from Brazil?
No, I don't.
Okay, so later I will make the connection with you.
Yes.
I think it's very important.
Great.
So she actually invited me to have a talk, like a lecture in her conference, which was actually online because of the Corona.
The pandemic.
And yes, because of the pandemic, it was online. So many conductors participated there from all over the world. It was very interesting to listen to others and this interaction. And then I found out that she had 1,000 participants in this conference. 1,000 women conductors. So I thought, oh, there are thousands. So already I have a list of 1,000. I can get from her a list of 1,000 conductors, and I'm sure there are many more who are not there. So I imagined that I can easily find 2,000 conductors. I was very brave to think like this. And then I started, like a month later, I started this hashtag all of a sudden, like spontaneously, without even starting collecting the pictures. And I said, I have 2,000 conductors, and I have conductors, one conductor a day for 5 years. You will see it. And I start today. And I started. And then I started collecting every day. So many. It took me hours a day for several months. I was working a lot to get as many.
So
and
how did you do that? Did you just Google it, or did some friends also help you, and other conductors, or what was?
Almost, I almost didn't get any help. I did it all by myself. Of course, from knowing many conductors through social media or through personal. I knew some of them, of course, and I knew many who were more famous. So I started from this. And of course, I found organizations that had several conductors here, several conductors there. And what I did is like collecting the names. And after I collected the name, I have to find a picture. Yes. And not everyone has a picture, especially not the historical ones, those who are already not with us, or older ones.
So they're included also?
Okay, so of course I include everyone, live or dead.
Ilya is saying that your project is wonderful, awesome.
Oh, thank you. Hi,
just to
Ilya.
say how awesome this is. Yeah.
Hi, Ilya.
Do you know each other?
Yes, of course.
Oh, fantastic.
He's also from Israel. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you. So yeah, let's continue.
So I really got help also from the algorithm. The algorithm started sending me proposals of female conductors, also of male conductors, but of course I deleted them. And then I wanted to teach the algorithm not to send me male conductors. Sorry, Ilya. But actually, still, the algorithm didn't learn that. It learned only that I'm looking for conductors. Okay, so I delete every day. I'm now more practiced in deleting. So I started collecting, and it's not easy. And of course, not always I find a very good quality picture of everyone. So I decided that even if I find not a good one, I will keep it. And then later I will look for another one. Maybe this conductor had a concert and she got better pictures, and it happens all the time that I'm renewing it and finding the best picture I can, actually.
To put them in a good spotlight, the best spotlight.
Yes, the best spotlight, and also the best attention, because when the picture is in a good quality, more people tend to look at it and to make a like and to write a comment, and it has a lot of effect, also psychological effect. So actually, this is what I do. So it took me hundreds or thousands of hours to collect, and I still keep collecting, and I still keep asking friends to help me, but it's very a small amount of help that I got from others. Mainly it's things that I found by myself, researching historical conductors and looking for living conductors.
Wow, so you have a big and huge database. How many conductors do you have at the moment?
Okay, I posted around 556 or 7, and I still have another 1,300. So it's almost 1,900 I'm reaching in total.
So everyone who is watching this video, if you know a female conductor, just write to Talia
Yeah.
Ilan and
Even if you think that I might have, it's
Yeah.
okay. I prefer to tell you, okay, I have her, rather than missing one. So
Yes.
I would like to have, especially from countries that are using less social media, or let's say, I don't have enough from Africa. I don't have enough from the Middle East.
Yes.
I'm sure in Russia there are many more than what I have. I have, but not enough. And from East Europe, I don't have enough. So from those countries, I'm sure you can surprise me and bring me new names I would love to have. Yes.
So let's see what we can do.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, one question I have is, did this project change or develop, or did it stay the same?
Actually, I planned, I didn't know this project will become so popular as it is now. I mean, it could be even more popular, but I didn't expect this. Actually, I would like to cite from the first post I put, and to tell you what I wrote in the first one, which was different than all the others, because as I told you, in every post I write only the name of the hashtag, one conductor a day, then the name of the conductor and the picture. But in the first one, I wrote the reason I start with it. So I will tell you, it's like this. I started one conductor a day. The first conductor was Joanna Malwitz.
Oh,
of
wow.
course, you know.
She's wonderful.
So what I wrote is like this. For those who are being irritated just from watching a picture of a female conductor, I dedicate this new daily tweet with a different conductor each day. I have enough pictures for at least 5 years. In this picture, conductor Joanna Malwitz.
Wow.
Yeah. So actually, it's like to irritate people who cannot see a woman conductor. This is maybe the first cause. So it's to annoy men who want to keep elite jobs for men only. But the reason, some other reasons, is to reveal the truth that there are women conductors, and that the reason we are not seen enough is not that there are not enough of us. It's because of other reasons. But this is one of the excuses that orchestra managers and music directors tend to tell us. Oh, we don't have women conductors in our season because there are not enough women conductors.
Not qualified enough. That's the next point.
Oh, yeah, not enough. It means not enough qualified ones,
Yes,
but not enough.
We only judge of quality. This makes me really aggressive when I hear this.
Yeah, the same they say about women composers.
Yes.
But you know, those people who say that never analyzed any sonata by a woman composer. Yeah. They don't know, except for Fanny Mendelssohn and Clara Schumann, they don't know any name of another woman composer, but they decided that they know. So it's a big lie. So this is what I want to reveal, this big lie.
And also the marketing is really toxic, I think, because every time a female conductor makes it, then it's the exceptional conductor or the exotic female conductor. And this is really, this is not, it's toxic.
Yes, exactly. Completely. Another reason is to show the public who is not aware that there are so many of us.
Yes.
I'm talking about the regular public, the people who are buying tickets, but they are not musicians themselves. They are not from the industry. Yet they never met us on stage. They start question their local orchestras when they don't invite, why they don't invite women conductors after they watch one conductor a day. People write me that after they realize that there are so many conductors, so they call their local orchestra where they go to listen to concerts. Why you don't invite even one female conductor? Because it irritates them. How come it doesn't happen? How come there are so many conductors but we don't see them? So people write me, and it makes me so happy that this is what I want to do. I want to make a pressure on orchestras through the public, because orchestras, I cannot fight them. They are too big. They are too powerful. But from the public who are buying the tickets, and they have a lot of power as well. So I want to convince them that they have to fight for equality. It's up to them if they want really the world to be equal and fair to everyone.
If you want to sell your tickets, you have to invite a female conductor.
Yeah. And not necessarily only women, but also women, even old generation women that they got to know this project, they suddenly changed their mind about all the concept of what is the function of women in the world. Because we know that all generation, many times they are already into patriarchy. They believe in what they were told. And we always tend, at least I thought that it's very difficult to change their mind. But without even knowing it, I realized that many of my followers are older generation women who write me every day. Talia, thank you for doing this. We feel so much enforced. I don't know the right
Empowered.
word, but empowered. Yes, empowered, and they feel different, and they retweet or they share. They all. I can feel how much it makes an impact on them. So even older generation, they still. After they realize the truth, because the pictures show the reality. It doesn't lie. So that's why it's very powerful. That's why I thought that psychologically it's important to put a picture. This is what talks to most of the people. It's immediate. You just see it and you cannot ignore it. After you see it, that's it.
Yes.
So and another reason is to celebrate each of the conductors who have to go through barriers just because they are women. So actually, on the same time, the same conductor who is being featured on the same day, it's like a celebration for her. On the same day, it's like a day that she can share with her community, with her friends and family, and to show that she's part of a bigger community of women conductors. And the reason I called it One Conductor a Day, I didn't put woman conductor or female conductor because I don't want to, it's like a little bit deceiving. It's like, okay, all the conductors can be here. Yes. But I decided that first of all, I will put female conductors because all my life, male conductors were in the front. They were before me, before you, before every woman conductor, even though not necessarily they are the better ones, but they were prior. They had priority, and not justified priority.
And we were all used to this as being normal. That a man is leading the orchestra.
Yes, exactly.
So when you think of conductor, the first thing everyone is imagining is a man.
Of course,
a man
that's right.
with white hair.
Yeah, and a big belly maybe.
Yes,
and
yes, of course.
Yeah, sure.
With a lot of dignity.
Yes. So in my hashtag, it's a conductor's hashtag, not necessarily a female hashtag, but that's why it's a conductor, One Conductor a Day. But I give priority to women because they deserve it, in my view. So that's why I chose this name, not a name that necessarily talks about women conductors.
Oh, that's
and
fantastic.
another thing is to, what I said already, to make a pressure on orchestras, both on music directors and on orchestra managers, so they cannot invite only male conductors, hopefully.
Yeah, and obviously you're really making a change, because when you have contact with your community and people call you and also call the responsibilities, well, that is a change. And also I think it's really important for female conductors to not feel like you're fighting alone, because this is really depressing and taking away a lot of strength and power that you actually need. And I remember that I once talked to Simone Young because I was watching her rehearsals, and then we had a 10 minutes chat or something like that. And she said, well, you know, as a female conductor, I have to be double as good as a man. It was always like that, and it stays like that. And this was something that it was horrible to hear, because, I mean, she really had a world career.
Yes,
And
I know.
still, she's fighting.
Wow. How long ago was it?
Oh, this, I think 2014 or 15, something like that. She was at Hamburg State Opera when she was GMD there, her last year. When she
So,
did, it was the Wagner Britten Verdi year, and she made all the Wagner operas
wow.
and also Britten. I remember that I saw Britten. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, and so I think this is really so important, yeah, and precious what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I really, yeah, this is fantastic, Talia, really. And well, so let's talk about female conductors. I mean, you had pictures of historical ones and of actual conductors. Do you think it's changing? Is the situation getting better? Is it staying the same? Is it different from country to country? What is your opinion?
Okay, so actually I mentioned 2013, and part of the consequences of all those interviews and ideas against and for women conductors, you know, when they talk about women, their right to live, their right to do this, it's always sounds to me horrible thing. Where do we live, in the Middle Ages? Yes, probably we are in the Middle Ages still, but still. After 2013, I realized that there are more women conductors accepted as music directors of orchestras in Europe. And so I believe it had an impact on this. It had a big effect after Marin Alsop, this bomb that was like the last night of the proms, and they talked about it, and suddenly managers realized that maybe it's good to have women conductors, because even if it's to put it in the news, because if it's a male conductor, maybe it's a regular thing, but maybe a woman conductor would be more in the news. Maybe this was the reason. I don't know. Actually, I don't care, because I want more orchestras to have women conductors. I want orchestras to have 50%.
Yes.
The world to have 50%, because we're 50% of the society.
Yeah.
So naturally, I believe that naturally the talent goes half-half. Yeah, right? Why gender has nothing to do with talent. So statistically, it has to be half-half.
Yes.
Because it has nothing to do with any physical thing. On the contrary, conductors who think that there is something to do with physics, so they are very bad conductors, because the right conducting, and me as a teacher as well, has nothing to do with power, with muscles. People who use muscles, they have bad technique. Yes. So they are very wrong from the beginning. So those who are talking about physics, physical condition and the ability and muscles, so already I understand they cannot conduct themselves.
Yeah. And I mean, conducting is a lot about energy and connecting with your musicians, and well, so muscles are not the thing for your technique.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And actually, I never heard one excuse or reason why women cannot be conductors. I only hear about that they cannot. I still didn't hear what was their excuse for women not to be conductors. I mean, except for stupid things like that they take the attention from the music to how they look, or things like that Vasily Petrenko said. But other than this, I
So
don't
actually, a
see.
good-looking man should also disturb everyone. So Riccardo Muti.
Yes,
There were
yes,
also
exactly.
women
No,
playing
they
in the
will not say.
orchestra, and it worked out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, of course, stupid excuses, but not real ones. I never heard real ones. So I really wonder, what do they think we cannot do? We cannot analyze a score, or we cannot hear well, or we cannot understand the style of Beethoven because he was a man and his music was more dramatic than others, and that we cannot. I really don't understand what they really want to tell us. What was the beginning of the question?
Well, actually, it's quite. I would just continue in this what you were talking because I have another question on your one conductor a day project popping up.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
The reaction you receive are there really negative reactions to that? Because you talked
Oh.
about the positive ones. Are there, if it's okay that I ask that,
Of course, you can ask everything.
are really people offending you or criticizing this project?
Well, rarely they do it directly. But what I know is that there are certain people who how can I say, they give they give good comments, or they post it, share it, retweet, or make a like. Mostly women, and several that I can tell you their names, even men. And actually, in the musical community, I get less recognition for this somehow, because I feel that many people are afraid to relate to my project, as if what I do is actually something which is somehow against the orchestras, or against the industry, which is true. Yeah, I'm fighting the industry, but not in a bad way. What I think, yes, I don't trash them. I don't do anything very direct, but indirectly they understand that it's something which is trying to make a change in the industry, and people from the music community, they don't really like to be related to the things I'm doing.
So is it about the fear that you're losing a tradition, or the fear to empower women, or?
Oh, yeah, both of them. Both of them. Yes.
And
Yes.
is this changing, or has this changed during your project? Is it getting less, or is it staying the same?
No, it's staying this way. I have more people who follow this, but the proportion keeps the same.
It
Yeah.
doesn't move.
It doesn't move in the musical industry. I mean, the musical industry is still, I feel that they are still against what I'm doing. They try to ignore it. Of course, I know they know about it, but they try to ignore it, actually.
Okay. So not to
Yeah.
attract some attention there and empower this project, but just to,
Yes, because
to be
otherwise,
quiet.
because if they do support me, so it means that they have to follow what I'm asking. 50% women conductors, and some of them, they don't want to hire even one. So of course they cannot actually support this if they don't have agreement within themselves with the directors that this is what they want to do. Because I believe we can fix it in almost one day or one season. It's very easy to decide that from the next year we will do 50-50, like Los Angeles Philharmonic. If they could do it, why not every other orchestra?
And the
I don't see
quality
the reason.
would not suffer.
On the contrary.
Bet. Yes.
No, on the contrary,
Yes.
Because women, when they go to this profession, it's anyway so difficult, more difficult than for male ones, because we all know that it's more difficult to get accepted to study this profession, first of all. I know this personally from my experience, and I know it from other colleagues who suffered from not being accepted to several schools until they were accepted finally. And then they turned out to be very good conductors. So actually there was no reason in the first place not to accept them. And on the other hand, I can see candidates who are not as qualified at all or not at all qualified, and they are being accepted to music schools. So already in this stage, we have a problem. Actually, the problem starts even before. Of course, we know that girls don't have enough role models for conductors as female conductors. So they don't see them. Like, I never knew there were women who were conductors when I was a girl. And I didn't know, even when I was older, I didn't know about, because in my time there was no internet, and we had only one channel on TV. But so today it's easier to see those things. But still, how come even today people are telling me that they didn't know about women conductors? So even in the internet time, we are still rare in this scene.
So you were talking about your personal experiences. Would you like to share some of those with us? What were your experiences, in a good and a bad way?
I can
hello,
share
Antonio.
that.
Antonio is with us.
Hi, Antonio.
Yes.
Thanks for joining. Well, some of the bad ones. The good ones is like, I don't know how to say,
Did you ever have
describe.
problems being a woman in front of an orchestra?
No, I never had a problem in front of an orchestra. The only problems were before that with the managers of orchestras, that some of the managers told me, sometimes someone else initiated the meeting, not me even. And when I approached the manager, so the manager told me, "Who do you think you are to conduct my orchestra? You're a woman. Nobody will play for you."
Oh, this is so rude.
Yeah, yeah, it's very rude, I know. But not only rude, it's even not legal to say that. At least not in my country. I mean, it was legal until 30 years ago to discriminate women, but then there was a law against discrimination of women. And he still dared to say this because he knew that I will not go to court. Because he knew that if I go to court, and even if I win, I will lose in the professional world, because nobody will want to work with me as the problematic person.
This is really mean.
But sometimes I prefer to hear it directly rather than to hear it behind my back, because this is also things that happen to me, that my friends who are players in orchestras told me that they heard their conductor talking about me, things that he didn't even know me, but he said, Talia thinks she will do this or this. Of course not, or things like this. It happened several times. The problem is that in my country, which is a very small one, and we have only 11 or 12 professional orchestras, it's a very small world, and you can be burned out very easily.
And a lot of gossip, of course.
Yes, a lot of gossip, sometimes like nothing to do with reality, like people who don't even know you, and they start talking because they imagine things, or they cannot stand that there is a woman who can do something even better than them, and who does she think she is, that she enters our world,
But are also colleagues encouraging you, or did you have a mentor or something when you were younger?
When I was younger, I used to have mentors, but not good ones, actually. So they were good in helping me musically, but not in helping my career, actually.
So you were completely on your own, or?
Yes.
What a tough way.
Well, as a conductor, you should, I think, unless I experience something else, but usually in the conducting world, conductors don't really want to help each other. Unless there is a very old conductor and he can help someone much younger and in a
I mean, they often
specific
have
way.
assistants, and this is the start of a career.
Yeah.
A lot of
So
male conductors were assistant, I don't know, of Bernstein or something like that, and then they took over one concert, and then that was it.
yes,
Career
yes,
started, and with women,
yes.
this is way harder. Oh, girls who conduct is with us. Great.
Well, yeah. Today they just posted Noya, my daughter, in their
Oh,
Instagram post, the
oh.
last one. Yeah.
So, and what is your experience with your students? So you have conducting students. Is it equal how many students you have,
Oh,
girls and boys, or how old are they? Very
okay.
young or older?
Yeah, so I teach in two institutions. One is a college of students after the army, which in Israel it's mandatory, and so there are 21 plus.
Uh-huh.
So it's like the university age, and the course I give them is the basics of conducting, which is not the whole. 4 years like in the academy. It's only like something that they have to learn, basics of conducting. Most of them don't continue as conductors. Most of them they have another instrument. So this is something that they need to know. And in my conservatory that I teach youth, like from the age of 15 to the age of 18. So
Wow.
they're very young ones. And it's a new place where I'm just now finishing the first year. And when they called me, I said that I'm going to teach there only if they have 50% women, girls.
Oh, wow.
But eventually I have 70% girls, which is
Oh,
very nice. Yes.
that's great.
Yes. Yeah. So it's very nice. And they're very talented. And they already conducted 3 or 4 concerts this year with symphony orchestra,
Wow.
which is wonderful. They get a lot of experience.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yes, that's right.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So maybe you talked about role models, and that you didn't really have any, and of course internet wasn't there at your time, but was there any conductor who did influence you or impress you, and why?
Well, as a girl, I mostly heard music from LPs.
Ah,
So
yes.
I was not thinking about the role of the conductor. I only heard the music, and this was directly like the music entered my soul, and I got inspired by the music itself. And since the age of 7, after I already knew many symphonies and the orchestral pieces from my mother, who gave me her LPs, I started attending real concerts of the Israel Philharmonic and the Israel Chamber Orchestra. My mother did a subscription to both orchestras for several years, so I really had the ability to already watch live concerts. And I don't think that the role of the conductor inspired me that much. I don't know why, but only at the age of 14, when I started attending the music high school in Israel, then I realized that I came there as a pianist, but then I realized that the music that I really love from a very young age was the orchestral music. This is what I really love. I still love the piano, everything, but the orchestral music is the thing that made me connect to this musical world. So then I realized, okay, who is creating this? It's the conductor. But it's not because I saw and watched the conductor that I decided, oh, I like those movements. No, it's the music itself and the role of leading it. And this is what was inspiring me, not specifically the specific conductor.
Yeah,
But
creating the sound,
yes,
making this symphony
exactly,
music. Yeah, I
exactly.
know what you
Yeah.
mean. Yeah.
Making it coming to life and in the way that you
Mm-hmm.
believe it should come to life, the way you believe the composer wanted it, and through your
Mm-hmm.
help, it can happen. So this
Mm-hmm.
is what was inspiring me,
Mm-hmm.
not a specific conductor that I saw. No, this
Not the
not.
position.
Not a not at all, not at
Yes.
all. So then I decided that if I want to become a conductor, I
Mm-hmm.
should know the orchestra from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
And as a pianist, I couldn't play in an orchestra. So I took the clarinet in
Oh.
order to join an orchestra.
Mm-hmm.
So I did take the clarinet, and it was very fast for me because I already played the piano. So
Mm-hmm.
after 1 year, I joined two orchestras, one in my school, the big band, because the symphony orchestra, it was already for the people that their clarinet was their major instrument.
Mm-hmm.
But the big band was open for me. And then there was another symphony orchestra, which was a community orchestra.
Mm-hmm.
Later, I would become their music director, but many years after that, like 15 years.
Oh, what a beautiful
Yes,
story.
yes.
Wow.
So I joined this orchestra, and one of the first concerts that I played, the soloist was Isabel Faust.
Oh,
Yes, she played
wow.
with us Mendelssohn, and she was 12 years
Oh,
old. And our
wow.
conductor brought her from, she was like a wunderkind. And
Yes.
I don't know how he knew about her, but she came to play with our orchestra. It's crazy, no?
Wow. What an
Yeah, and
experience. Oh,
yeah, I love her playing really.
yes.
And so, so in this way, I got to know the orchestra
Mm-hmm.
from inside, and what do I need from a
Mm-hmm.
conductor in order
Yes.
when one day I will become a conductor, I will know what is good, what is
Mm-hmm.
bad, what is better to do.
Mm-hmm.
And also on the same time, on the same period, with the help of the wife of my clarinet teacher, who is the leader of the viola section of the Israel Philharmonic.
Oh,
She helped me getting the permission of Zubin Mehta to attend all the rehearsals of the orchestra.
oh,
Yes, which
fantastic.
was great. Yes. So
Wow.
I attended hundreds of
This is like a
rehearsals.
master course.
Exactly. This
Yes.
was my biggest school. From the age of 16, I attended their rehearsals every week, most of the rehearsals, whatever I could, of course.
Wow.
And even when I was in the army, I still went to their rehearsals when there were important concerts, and I watched all the big maestros rehearsing, and I learned a lot from the process.
Yes.
Actually, since then, I really love the process more than the concert itself. Also, for me, I love rehearsing orchestras much more than doing concerts. I don't know why, but this is what I like to do
Yes.
mostly.
The concept is just a moment, and
Exactly. And in
sometimes
the
you create
rehearsal,
some magic, but in the rehearsals, sometimes you get more magic because
yes,
especially when they
exactly.
develop. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And most of the people don't know about it.
Yes.
But this is the real job. This
Yeah.
is the real job to from
Improvement.
nothing to, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
To make it the way you really believe it should sound. Yeah,
Oh,
so this is what I really love.
fantastic. So we have 5 minutes left. So
Oh,
yeah, time flies. It was wonderful. But of course, I also want to talk to you about female composers because I know that you also are very interested and
of
engaged in
course.
this field. So maybe you can tell us a quick thing in 5 minutes, open to you, something about female composers.
Okay, so people, the majority, they don't know that there are as much female composers as male composers from the beginning of the history. The only thing is that they are hidden.
Yes.
People don't know about them, and we're still researching because we know about 5,000 of them, but there are many more. But sadly, many more, their music didn't exist, we cannot find it.
Yeah.
So
it's a problem that not everyone collected it, and
sometimes and I researched about 60 composers in the time that I wrote a blog through my radio station Facebook page, and I realized that many of the composers, if they died before their husbands, so sometimes their husbands didn't believe that there is quality in their music, and they just threw it away or burned it. No. It's terrible. No. Yeah, so we lost a lot of good music, but the music which is still with us, most of it is still in archives. And most of it was not even published. And we all know, let's say Fanny Mendelssohn, but also half of her music is not published yet, and 200 of her songs were just published very recently, 2 months ago, and also because of a singer who decided this is his project, and he published it himself, not the publishers. And I write almost like every month to Bernreiter to publish more music by female composers, and tell me, yes, Talia, in 2 years we will do Fanny Mendelssohn, and we'll do, thank you. But Fanny Mendelssohn is not the only composer, even though I love her music. Yeah. So there is a lot of music, there is a lot to do. And all the music which was already published, we already have hundreds of symphonies. Yes. And symphonic overtures, and a lot of music that was not even played once, and it is published, and we have parts, and everything is ready just to play. Yes. And still, a lot of orchestras don't look at this side. They just look straight to what they're used to, and they tell us, "You want us to neglect Beethoven? Why do you want us?"
So stupid.
They think that it's so stupid. They think that if I push them to play even one female composer in a concert, so because of me, they will play less Beethoven. So you know what? Yes, I want you to play less Beethoven. Even Beethoven himself would like us to hear his contemporaries, which we don't know a lot about.
I mean, but Marie Bigot, she played his sonata, and she was completely overwhelmed.
Exactly. So you see, or Mariana von Martinez, and also Louise Farang, who followed him, and her music and style is so much influenced by him. Yes. So I'm sure he would love to hear his music near hers. So people are just talking, but there is nothing really real about
and
what they
don't know the music. It's what you said in the beginning, that talking about something they don't know.
Exactly. And how can you check it? You ask them, you want to come to have... I will let you listen to several pieces without knowing what it is, and you tell me who wrote it, if it's a woman or man. Of course, they cannot do it because they know they will never hear the difference, because no one can hear the difference between music written by a woman or music written by a man.
When you think female or male music, you think in stereotypes.
Of course, but once you listen to the music, you cannot tell who wrote this music unless you know this music already from before. So this is a way where I can make them shut up when I ask them to let me check them how much they think they know who wrote this or who wrote that. Or I ask them, have you ever analyzed a sonata by a woman composer that you say that the quality is not high enough? According to what do you decide about quality? But this is, of course, just a stupid excuse that they think that I will buy or other people will believe them. But anyway, so if we do talk about quality, so this is the time to open up and play the real wonderful music, amazing music written by so many composers. And if you ask me, who I love the most. So there are so many, and I cannot believe that so many of them wrote amazing music. But still, I want to mention some names like Augusta Holmes, Louise Farang, Mariana von Martinez, Fanny Mendelssohn, Clara Schumann, Germaine Taillefer, Ethel Smythe, who lived in your city.
Yes.
Part of her
Also
beginning
Clara
of
Schumann and Fanny Hensel. I
of
mean,
course,
Leipzig was
yes,
a big city for
yes,
female composers because they had the conservatory here where women were allowed to study. And of course they
yeah,
came.
yeah. But Ethel Smythe didn't like it. She stayed there only one
That's
year,
it.
and
She
then she
loved
left.
it. No, she didn't like the
No, no,
conservatory. Yeah, she hated
no, the
her teacher.
conservatory. I'm not talking about the city. She stayed in the city, but
Yeah.
she didn't like the conservatory.
Yes.
Yes,
And she studied with
yeah.
Herzogenberg.
No, that's right.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, Antonio told us that it's so important that you're writing them to ask for their publishing. Yeah, Antonio, that's so
Yeah.
true. And Judith is schreiben, is writing. What great fun and very informative listening to you too. Thanks for this conversation. Oh, and what more? Ah, Antonio again. And Beethoven would have loved Hélène de Montjoie. Yes,
Of
I
course.
agree. And thank you both very much. It opens our mind and soul. Well, that's nice.
Mhm.
So, Talia, fantastic.
Mhm.
We're at the end. 1 hour is over. It was so
Oh,
quick. Fantastic.
yes.
And thanks so much for your time. I think you,
Thank you, Eva, for inviting me. It's really, I feel very honored to be invited by you. And let's keep doing all the things we're doing.
yes.
And hopefully more people will follow the things, and
Yeah,
gradually
everyone,
people.
follow one conductor a day with the one and only Talia Ilan. It's a great project. If you know any conductors, tell her. So you're also collecting scores, I think. If you know composers, also tell Talia. And yeah, thanks so much. It was so great also to get some more information about this project.
Mm.
So I hope you can continue not only 5 years, but 10 or
Yeah,
20.
yeah. Don't forget that there's now our new generation, and every
Yes.
year more are graduating. So I will keep collecting all the time.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Thanks so much, Talia.
Thank you,
Thanks
Eva.
everyone for watching.
Thank
Goodbye.
you.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.